Welcome back to the Tigers Den podcast, guys. Before we get started, you already know what we got to do. Smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're brand new, and don't forget to ring that bell and join the Noti Squad. Well, what a way to end an incredible season. A 66-20 beatdown over Penn State. It was complete domination from start to end. Phil Austin had a great day in his last game at Grambling State, 464 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He completed 77% of his passes. Phil was balling and showed scouts he can throw that deep ball too. On the ground, Charlie Brooks finished his career on a high note. 20 carries for 171 yards and 5 touchdowns. That makes back-to-back games for CB23 with 5 scores. Joel Thomas pitched in with 12 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. Out wide, the Tigers had 3 wideouts that went over 100 yards, led by Terrell with his 7 grabs for 113 and a touch. Sean Edwards had a huge day, 6 grabs for 173 yards, and Demetrius Gunn had 6 grabs for 111. And on defense, the Tigers were on the prowl. The captain, Josh Carey, led the way with 6 tackles. Torian Ray had 2 sacks. Causey, Maynard, and Brown each had a sack, while in the secondary, Ron Bennett and Rayshawn Baker each had an interception. We dig deeper into the stats, and Grambling State finished with 715 yards of total offense, holding Penn State to only 42 yards on the ground, and the Nittany Lions to 4 of 11 on third downs. So the crystal ball comes home to Grambling State University, and I couldn't be more prouder of this team. They showed grit and determination, and what can I say about these seniors? When they decided to come back for unfinished business, we knew we would have something special. Our first undefeated season, back-to-back SEC championships, and the crystal ball. Taking a look at our final season stats, Phil Austin finished his senior year with almost 4,000 yards passing, 32 touchdowns, and 21 INTs. Phil was a 4-year starter and was a true leader of this team. He finishes his career with 11,759 yards passing, 109 touchdowns, but he threw 77 interceptions. It's going to be tough replacing his productivity. On the ground, Mr. Heisman, Charlie Brooks had a great bounce-back year, 263 carries for 1,862 yards and 40 touchdowns. After breaking his wrist last season, Brooks came back and was an absolute beast. CB23, another 4-year starter, finishes his Grambling career as an all-time leading rusher in all categories with 6,078 yards and 100 touchdowns for his career. His backup, Joel Thomas, had a down year after breaking onto the scene last season. He took a backseat to Brooks, but still put up almost 1,500 yards rushing with 22 touchdowns. JT was a great team player this year, accepted his role as a backup. It will be his show next season, and I think we're all excited to see what he can do. Out wide, Chad Terrell led the way with 74 grabs for 948 yards and 7 touchdowns. Chad, a transfer senior, was a surprise. His first year playing, he finished with 36 grabs and 13 touchdowns. His second year as a full-time starter, he increased his numbers and then exploded in his senior year. He has a great combination of size and speed and will be a great player at the next level. He leaves as GSU's all-time leader in receiving touchdowns. Second on the team was senior Demetrius Gunn. He finishes his senior year with 60 grabs for 806 yards and 6 touchdowns. Gunn, another 4-year starter, had his numbers increased from year 1 to year 4. He was one of the most consistent players on this team. If we needed a tough catch or a first down, Gunn would be the one we counted on. Big Rob Bradford finished his 3rd year on the team with 53 grabs for 708 yards and 9 scores. The junior just keeps getting better. He had a great freshman year, took a dip in his sophomore year, and bounced back big time in his junior year. If he decides to stay as a senior, he will have to be a focal point of this offense. Then there's sophomore Sean Edwards. He had 52 grabs and a team lead 1,106 yards and 9 scores. Sean was mainly used in the slot. In his junior year, he could see some time on the outside and will probably be wide receiver number 1. On defense, the captain. Josh Carey had an unreal career. Look at those tackle numbers. Carey came in as a safety but was moved to linebacker because of his tackling and his speed. And he played all over the field and was a true leader of this G-Men defense. Sophomore Torian Ray led the team with 18 sacks. Richard Maynard and Marvin Goff were tied with 17, and Josh Carey had 16. Freshman Caleb Causey finished his first season with 8 sacks. The D-line was impressive all year and hopefully will be back stronger next season. In the secondary, Ron Bennett led the team with 5 interceptions. Sophomore Rayshawn Baker had 4, Carey had 4, James Heron had 3 picks, and Fred Paris had 2. The secondary impressed me this season. They had some bumps in the road, but they played hard and did a great job in coverage. Special teams, Jordan Paxson showed why he's the best returner in college football, finishing with 1,348 yards and 2 touchdowns on kick returns, and went crazy on punt returns with 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns. Teams need to learn, don't kick to him. So it's time to jump into the offseason, and Coach Fobbs has earned an extension. Look at the growth over the past 5 seasons. Our first year we finished 8-4, then 12-1 in back-to-back seasons, 13-1 last season, and then an undefeated season. In all, 59-7 in his first 5 seasons, and an outrageous 16-3 versus ranked opponents. Taking a look at the coaching carousel, and we will need 2 new coordinators this season. Defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt is heading to Clemson, not a bad gig for him. And offensive coordinator Danny Lansford is heading to Stanford, and he's going to be put right in the middle of a rebuilding project. So who will be filling those spots? Well, on offense, T. Martin. He was the head coach at Kansas State but was fired after a 1-11 season. And on defense, we have Jim Knowles, who was the DC at Duke. These two will have big shoes to fill, but I look forward to seeing what they could bring to our team. Now to the scariest part of Dynasty mode is players leaving, and this is what I was afraid of. Rod Bradford wants to declare for the NFL draft. He's projected to go in the 6th round, but we wouldn't mind him coming back. So we promised he would be a first-round pick, and then we promised he wouldn't regret coming back for his degree. And he decides he wants to stay in school. Tackle Alfred Williams has decided to transfer. He's heading to our rival, Southern University. Lame. To the draft results we go, and the Tigers have 3 first-round picks: Chad Terrell, Phil Austin, and Charlie Brooks. Demetrius Gunn ends up being drafted in the 2nd. One name not on this list, Josh Carey. The most prolific tackler in NCAA history went undrafted, and I'm in complete shock. To the recruiting trail we go, and this has to be one of the most exciting classes in school history. We've landed some pretty explosive players and some freshmen that could see playing time early. But there are still 2 players left on our board: guard Nick Walden from Nebraska and athlete Keith Hunter. Walden is a must-get to help our O-line, but Hunter's going to be interesting because he doesn't have a true position. But we divide the numbers up and put 10,000 on Walden and 5,000 on Hunter, and welcome 2 more members to the recruiting class, giving Grambling State the #1 class in the country for the first time in Dynasty history. So we jump ahead to training results, and let's start at QB. Junior Chris King, it's his show this year. He gets a +5. He gets a +1 throw power and a +4 accuracy. All of our running backs get a +5. Joe Thomas in his junior year is up to a 97 overall. Easley in his sophomore year is up to an 81 overall. And freshman Charles Jackson is a 72 overall. My concern this year is that wide receiver Sean Edwards gets a +4 to a 90 overall. The big question for Sean this year is if he's going to be more than just a deep ball threat. Gerald Cox gets a +4 and he's up to an 88 overall. Jordan Paxson is up to an 85. I'm excited to see Antonio Walker. He's a redshirt freshman and he gets a +4. He has great speed and great route running ability. He could push for that wideout number 2 position. Then we have Smith, who gets an 83 overall, and Price gets a +5 to a 77 overall. At tight end, Rob Bradford is back for his senior year, and he's up to a 98 overall. He's going to have a huge year for us. Newsome gets a +5, and he's up to a 73 overall. To the offensive line, and we're going to be solid. Chris Murphy, our freshman, will get the starting job at left tackle. At left guard, we have Anthony Williams. He gets a +4 his senior year. At center, Richard Golden is up 6 to a 92 overall his senior year. Right guard, Otis Allen is a +5. He's up to an 87 overall. And right tackle, Marcus Berry is up 5 to an 84 overall. I'm excited for this line. Their run blocking traits are all over 90. So there should be some nice lanes for Thomas and Easley this year. Our D-line is so beastly this year. Torian Ray is up to an 88 overall. Causey is up to an 87 overall. Butler is an 83. Richard Maynard is up to an 88 overall, which I think is very low for his senior year. Sellers and Cobbs get a +4, and Freeman gets a +5. At D tackle, Marvin Goff is the man. 95 overall. Best move that we did this entire dynasty is switching his position last season. Jason Brown is up to an 85 overall. Stewart's an 83. Anderson comes in as a 78, and Henry at a 77. We're going to be playing linebacker by committee on the left side this year, but up the middle, Brandon Ginn gets stronger. He goes up to an 85 overall. I wish his speed would have went up just a little bit, though. At right outside linebacker, Jason West is up to an 81. He got faster. He might have to move into that Josh Carey role on defense. At corner, we are stacked. Rayshawn Baker's up 5 to a 93 overall. Ron Bennett is up 5 to a 92 overall. Johnson gets a +4 to an 84, and Stovall gets a +5 to an 83. All these corners have great speed, and their coverage ability is elite. We'll be able to play man and zone all year. At free safety, Mike Collins gets a +4 to a 91 overall. Clemens gets a +6. He might see some time at nickel linebacker or dime linebacker. Strong safety Christopher Warder is up 6 to a 91 overall. And Justin Smith gets a +5. He's going to push for playing time this year. He's got great coverage ability and speed. Well, here's a look at the top 10 going into season 6. Bama comes in at number 1. Grambling State's in at 2. Miami's 3. Penn State in at 4. Texas in at 5. Notre Dame is 6th. Michigan in at 7. Pitt in at 8. Tennessee is 9. And your Sooners from Oklahoma are 10. Taking a look at the race for the Heisman, and on the short list is Joel Thomas. The junior will be looking to get his second Heisman Trophy in his career. The Tigers have 6 preseason first-team All-Americans this year. Joel Thomas, Torian Ray, Richard Maynard, Marvin Goff, Ron Bennett, and Jordan Paxson. So it's time to get ready for season 6. This is going to be the most interesting year for Grambling State, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're brand new, and don't forget to hit those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Twitter, IG, and Facebook, where I will be dropping the team schedule. So make sure you guys go check it out. And we'll talk soon. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace.